We are all aware of race. Let's not pretend otherwise. We are all aware of cultural differences too. Again, let's not pretend that we aren't, as if we simply don't see it because we're all the same. In many ways, we are all the same, but in many ways we aren't. Are all families the same? Do they behave in a uniform manner? When my children were younger and they had friends come over to play or for a stayover, it wasn't hard to recognise that things were done differently in other households. Attitude, behaviour, eating habits. And I'm sure that the same was true when my children visited their friends' homes. And this is just families within the same society, usually the same culture. If things are done differently from home to home in the same culture, the same is obviously true with regard to people from other countries and cultures. It's not rocket science. Going back to skin colour, which is the most obvious evidence of difference, I personally am fascinated by other people's stories and experiences. I want to ask questions, to learn more about them. Often, that is frowned upon. Why, for God's sake? Isn't that what makes life interesting? I remember seeing two ladies on a ferry journey, obviously African, and they were dressed up in their finery and they looked stunning. Beautiful colours, handsome looking ladies. I wanted to just keep watching them, drinking it all in. But of course, that would be frowned upon. It probably would be deemed to be racist by some people. But here's another story from many years ago, but one I have never forgotten. I was a salesperson in a domestic appliance store, and an Asian man and woman, Indian possibly I think, came in together to make a purchase. So we all sat down at a table to complete the paperwork, but the woman had remained silent throughout the whole process. And so I smiled at her and I asked her if she was looking forward to using the new appliance, trying to bring her in. The man immediately threw his arm in front of her and he said, "This is my wife," in a tone that was clearly intended to shut me down. Now, am I not going to notice that? Am I going to think that that's perfectly acceptable given the culture I was born and raised within? Of course I was going to have my opinion about it, and of course I was going to find it disturbing. Does that make me a racist? In some people's eyes it will. All of life is a spiritual experience, every last drop of it. It's a multifaceted process, and certainly not, if you do pardon the pun, black and white. It's complicated. We are complicated. We are different. Because we came into this physical world under a variety of circumstances. And we are all on our own journey. We are all at different stages of personal evolution. Does that mean that we have to unquestioningly be open to every other soul's agenda, beliefs and behaviour? Of course not. To quote Neil Donald Walsh from Conversations with God, betrayal of yourself in order not to betray another is betrayal nonetheless. It is the highest betrayal. Sometimes there is a genuine need in life to protect ourselves from our fellow human beings and to protect the space we have worked hard to carve out for ourselves and to protect the vulnerable who depend on us. How many times has a hand that has fed others been bitten? There are times to be altruistic, compassionate and giving, and there are times to close rank for intelligent and obvious reasons. There is currently a disturbing, sickening trend of labelling other human souls as racist without a second thought. The fact is, some people do not like other races and cultures. As long as they don't physically harm them or willfully cause destruction to their everyday lives, they are entitled to their beliefs and feelings, like it or lump it. Society might have silenced its citizens and made them afraid to speak up, but it can't silence a person's mind and private thoughts. The capacity for private thought is God-given. I don't support those who have disgust or distrust for other creeds and cultures without a credible reason, just because they are different. It's simply ignorance and stupidity. And let's face it, those are both pretty common human traits. All I'm saying is that all human souls are free to think and believe what they choose. Taking violent action, on the other hand, is despicable. But it cuts all ways. This way of being can be seen in all cultures and among people of all skin colours. We are all entitled to our beliefs and to stand for our causes, but they need to be deeply considered, questioned and challenged causes, not just decided upon and then thrust upon the world. We are all warriors at heart as well as peacemakers, and we are never ever going to agree with each other over everything. It's always been that way. It always will be. But some causes are not for the greater good. They are for the good of a select group, regardless of what makes sense in the bigger picture or what the majority or close to the majority want. And so we currently have a zillion agendas all being pushed out there, many of them violently or forcefully. And our young are being indoctrinated, and millions of decent, honest, compassionate human souls are being shut down and insulted by people who want everything their way. We can't all care about the same cause. There are maybe millions of causes out there, all demanding attention. We can't all believe in the same cause. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to function. You might care about that and take action. I might care about this and take action. There's an endless tide of needy human souls, and believe you me, there are more than enough causes to go around. So I say this to the world. Don't try and silence others with a cheap shot of racism without clear, indisputable evidence of actual racism. It's a spiritual attack, not just a weapon of manipulation. People marching calmly and in unity to stand for their cause is perfectly right and acceptable. If they believe that their way of life, their boundaries are being attacked, they are free to stand together and state as such. Putting skin colour and culture to one side and seeing the actual soul and not feeling safe or aligned with that soul should not be questioned. I'm not a racist, as in the dictionary version, and here it is. Characterised by or showing prejudice, discrimination or antagonism against a person or people on the basis of their membership of a particular racial or ethnic group, typically one that is a minority or marginalised. But I won't tolerate or accept that which is spiritually or physically threatening or threatens the balance of life that is familiar to me and my compatriots. There's always room for change and growth, but change and growth for the right reasons. And I'll be honest, I don't give a shit what skin colour a soul is wearing. They could be sky blue and pink with yellow dots on for all I care. They could come from Mars. But common sense and common decency surely have to prevail. You can take pure, clean water, a valuable commodity, and then drop clumps of earth into it because that earth is dry and in need of moisture. And that could be called compassion. But then the pure, clean water is muddied, and so now we have dry earth and muddy water. So it's a lose-lose situation. Instead of keeping the water clean and taking a different action to add moisture to the dry earth, we've now got two problems. But hey, If you were to disagree with that, you'd likely be tarred and feathered and marched naked through the streets of shame, where some people are concerned. I work with people from all over the world. People of all colours and creeds. They're respectful to me and I'm respectful to them. They come with the same worries, problems, hopes and dreams as each other, regardless of their location. However, and with absolutely no disrespect to any of those wonderful souls, I wanted to order a Unite the Kingdom t-shirt. I support the movement, but not because I hate foreigners, but because I am sad to see the United Kingdom in such a state of turmoil and disrepair. This is not the country I grew up in, and I am heartbroken to see it being dismantled and insulted, and it is being insulted by some of my fellow citizens, I might add. I just want to stop the rot. However, I am aware that if I buy the t-shirt and wear it, I am going to attract negative attention and be labelled as a racist probably. Oh, and also as a Tommy Robinson recruit. If I buy the t-shirt, it will have nothing to do with Tommy Robinson. It will be about my own feelings. What is wrong with uniting our kingdom? What? How bad can that be? So I probably will order that top, because I detest having to put up and shut up to avoid hostility from others. It kind of seems cowardly to hide in the shadows. So, make no bones about it. What is taking place in the UK right now, and indeed the world, is a spiritual challenge. And I honestly don't know where it's going to take us all. I talk to my version of God, and I pray for us all. And I live in hope, though I do know that we have a massive journey ahead of us. And sometimes I just have to bury my head in the sand, because otherwise the despair and the fear overwhelms me. Anyway, wherever you are in the world, I wish you good health, happiness and good luck. Bye for now.